Okay, hi students. So I wanted to review with you before you took your quiz how to create the two-sentence structures that we're asking for. So the first one that we are looking at is the independent clause and some type of closer. So my recommendation for you is to follow the model and use this gerund phrase closer, this gerund phrase as your closer. So that means that this word right here needs to be an ing form of the verb. So I taught my sister how to throw a frisbee, comma, instructing her in every step. If you notice, I grabbed some example sentences from your classmates. These are from my first hour of just how this can work with a few different verbs or a few different actions and types of sentences. And notice how they just read really fluently with that gerund phrase. I threw the ball, comma, hoping my brother would catch it. I taught my sister how to play basketball, comma, showing her every step. I taught my dad how to use an iPhone today, comma, knowing it'd take a long time. She made the cake for the party, comma, working in the kitchen for hours. So I'll just use this last one as an example. So we have an independent clause here. I'll highlight that in green. This independent clause can stand alone as a sentence. We could put a period at the end and it would be okay. This gerund phrase closer is additional information. It allows us to create a more informative sentence without having to create two separate sentences, right? So it allows us to add fluency to our writing. She made the cake for the party, comma, working in the kitchen for hours. So it adds nice detail to the sentence. It's a good structure to know. So let's correct this one. I created a video on YouTube, comma, hoped for the best. So even though it seems like we should be able to use this form of the verb, it doesn't really work as a phrase closer as fluently as the gerund form would. In fact, I would say that in order to correct this and keep this form of the verb, you'd almost have to use like a semicolon or create two sentences. So let's just change this to the gerund form and see what happens. I created a video on YouTube, comma, hoping for the best. We also need to add a period at the end because it was missing that. A lot of you were missing the end punctuation, so please remember to do that. That looks a lot better, and that would work and receive full credit. The second one has to do with the explanatory words and adding the quotation from your book club book, as well as the MLA citation in parentheses, author's last name and page number. One of the biggest mistakes I would say here was that people are forgetting that we need to put the period after the parenthetical citation. The other piece that you need to remember is at the end of your quotation before the parenthetical, there is no punctuation unless it is a question mark or an exclamation mark. So for instance, I pulled again a couple of sentences from first hour. When some police officers force Star's father down, Stephen exclaims, this is awesome. So great introductory words right here, explanatory words. Okay. Here's the comma before the quotation marks. Here's the direct quote from the book. Notice there's no punctuation right here. And then we've got the parenthetical citation, author's last name, page number, and we've got the period at the end. Here is another good example. June tells the soldiers, explanatory words, comma, everyone wants out. I want a private word with the prisoner. Notice no punctuation before the parenthetical. So it must have been, it's neither a question mark or an exclamation mark. And then the period at the end of this sentence. So let's correct this one. Day is alone and says, we need a comma here. Are they dying because of me? This ended in a question mark, so I absolutely need to include it. But I still need the period at the end of the parenthetical citation. Have to have that there even if this is a question mark or exclamation mark. All right, good luck.